Gabe, when you look out a couple of years into the future, into your crystal ball, how do you think the nature of what you do on a day-to-day basis as a technologist now working on a sales team is going to change? Do you envision small changes, significant changes? What out of your daily, weekly, monthly routine do you think is going to be quite different 2, 3, 4 years out from now?
So I would say no matter what I say, I'm going to be wrong, right? Um, but if I have to prognosticate and look forward, what I see in the industry, specifically from a sales specific role, is that you're going to start to see a necessity from customers in this data center space looking to grow or build a very tight knit, full life cycle set of vendors and partners, folks who are going to live with them from the onset of an idea to the design of that idea, to the build of that idea, to the supply chain, to the raw material commodity vendors, to deployment, to and then support, right? That because of the pace, because of the scale of what's being done, and because of the locations geographically where that's happening, right? We need to be able to make global decisions that we can easily deploy regardless of location, but be able to stay within a tight partner set so that the end result can be somewhat standardized, right? So that we can have a as close as we can get to a guaranteed outcome. I think what you will see is the unification of all of these things. I think you're slowly seeing it within some of our larger global customers, and definitely in the hyperscale market, where you have a tight knit of builders who are joined at the hip and look years down the road as to manpower and projections and who can take what job when, and a real collaboration there. And I think that kind of unity is going to be stretched out with the customer always at the center, but going to build that sphere of collaboration to help continue to deploy data centers, because we know that the only thing guaranteed is change. And so we're going to guarantee to have change, and we need to have a team with us in an ecosystem that is ready to adapt to what these changes might be, so that we're not constantly trying to play catch up or moving old components to inventory that will never get touched but simply sit on some general ledger somewhere. So if I need to look into a crystal ball, that's what I think I see.
So more different kinds of channel partners, more integrators, more consultancies that all need to come together on single accounts, which aligns with what most of the analysts continue to find, is that an enterprise client may have anywhere from, I think the estimates are like anywhere from 8 to 28 different technology partners they work with. And there's a massive skill set related to, I think they call it orchestration, kind of like an orchestra conductor that needs to make sure that the strings and the brass and the woodwinds and the percussionists are all playing to the same beat.
Exactly. So traditionally, right, you see that the customer is working with each of these in pockets, right? And you have little bits where an architect spans some and a customer spans some. And I think it's the consolidation of bringing everyone in to that trust component, so that, like you said, from an orchestra, that we guarantee that the music we all make is in a symphony and is symphonic, and not just a everybody solo, and then we're all just cranky and stressed out at the end of the job.
And the digital infrastructure, critical facilities, data center related industry has this other challenge, and that especially for people that are relatively new, there's like these 5 big areas, like the operators, the technology companies, facilities companies, construction, real estate. And then even within there, there's sub-segments. And I think one of the biggest challenges for people that are outside of the industry or new to the industry is just understanding who all the different kinds of key players are and how they interact with each other. And even for a company like Wesco, probably more planted in the technology, but there's certainly overlap into operators and things that impact facilities companies, as well as early stage construction, and even the big real estate investments and commissioning.
Yeah, definitely. Right. It's everyone needs to talk to everyone. Right. There are too many threads that cross to for anyone to think that they can operate solely right within this space. That the data center is we do a lot of things in a small space, even if we're doing a very large facility. It's still a lot of components strapped into a very small space, which drives us all to have to work in unison to be able to be sure that we're playing the right notes at the right time to deliver a happy customer.
That's what it's all about at the end of the day.
Yep, for sure.
Keeping them happy, their version of happy, understanding what makes them successful in their goals. And it takes a village to deliver. It takes a village on their side. There's a lot of interpersonal relationships and personalities that come into play
Yeah,
with all
absolutely.
this.
Yep.